I got a fantastic drill for you. Now I'm sitting up here against a leaderboard, a golf leaderboard. You can do this right from the comfort of your living room, but we're going to talk about how to keep your posture. And you've probably all seen the drill where you sit against a wall, you try to put your rear end against the wall to keep your posture to stay down. We've all seen that one before. Well, there's a variety of reasons that the traditional way of doing this doesn't really work. We're going to talk about some of the issues with that and the solutions to them so that you can keep your posture, you can still hit those nice, compressed, powerful shots and be very consistent all at the same time. Let's go and get started. Okay, so first let's talk about staying in your posture and the wall drill or keeping your rear end on this wall. So typically here's the way this would happen. I'm going to set up, and the way that I like to do this is the way that I typically see this done actually. We'll start out with that. Is you set up with your butt against the wall, you swing to the top, and then you try to keep your butt against the wall as you swing down. Well, there's a couple issues with this. If you do it this way, typically what people will do is they'll turn off their hips. They won't really get very much hip rotation. So as they swing to the top, they keep kind of their butt against the wall, and now all of a sudden I haven't really rotated my hips like I want to. I haven't got a good full turn for my shoulders. The wall's getting in the way of my club here, and it's causing a lot of issues. So as I swing back, this club should be hitting that wall. We're going to talk about a good way to get around this in a second. And then we're also going to talk about a certain way to set up so that we don't turn our hips off. If I do it the traditional way where I keep my butt against the wall the whole time, I'm basically just doing an arm swing. And even if I do rotate my hips a little bit, they're not really active the way they should be in a real golf swing. Not to mention the wall issue we talked about. So here's the right way to do this. If I set up in my normal posture and I want to get to where my rear end's touching the wall as I'm at address. Now I'm going to go ahead and choke a couple inches up on this club to where my fingers are almost down on the club shaft. That way it's not going to go as far back into this wall. And then what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to take a step forward with my feet about 2 inches. So now when I get into my posture, my rear end should be a couple inches away from this wall. As I come into the backswing, again, remember I talked about my hips not really rotating. What I want to feel like is my right pant pocket goes back into this wall as I make my backswing. So if I'm turning my hips here, as I turn back, this right hip is going to go back into that wall. So if I put my club there, I should almost be able to feel that kick against the wall. You can have a little bit of flex in your knee is fine. I don't have to completely straighten it up like that, but I definitely want to rotate my hips a little bit to where I'm almost feeling like now my right hip is touching the wall. It doesn't have to touch it. From there, I'm going to go ahead and take a pretty good shoulder turn, and I'm going to let my club actually touch this wall here. So this will be the top of my backswing. Big hip turn, big shoulder turn. I'm only making a 3/4 length backswing because this wall's in the way. And then from there, as I start down, the idea is that I'm going to do the opposite. I'm first going to squat back to square, and as I'm doing that, my club is still going to be on the wall. We'll talk about why that's important here in a second. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take my left hip and drive it into the wall there. Now that actually keeps me rotating, keeps me moving like it's going to be a real shot, but now I'm clearing this hip out of the way to stay in my posture. So again, let's go ahead and set up. I'm 2 inches away. My rear end's a little bit off the wall. I've choked up on the club. Now I'm getting a good hip turn, and I'm only going back until my club hits the wall. From there, the first move down, I'm going to squat to let my hips get square, and I'm going to keep my club against the wall so I'm coming from the inside. You see, if I put the club and have it miss the wall, and I go ahead and have it where it's not going to come down and hit this, all of a sudden I'm very steep when I'm doing this drill. I want to let the wall help to shallow me out as I squat and get my hips square. As my club comes down to contact, now I'm taking my left foot, that heel, and I'm pushing out this way to push my hip. Almost imagine you're going to knock something over with your left hip. I'm going to push it back out of the way. That's going to help me to rotate on through. Because I've kept my club kind of dropping down this wall, now all of a sudden I'm from the inside, I'm really in the slot here, and as I push on through to the left, that's coming from the inside, and it's going to be a nice square contact with the golf club. And then as I finish on through, I'm only going to go through to about waist high on the fall through. You notice my club isn't coming all the way around because it would be hitting this wall if I did that. I'm just making a little half swing, slide down the wall, and then I'm letting that hip drive into the wall, and I'm coming halfway through the fall through. My left foot should be rotating out. My right foot should all the way be up on the toe like this. Again, I don't want to turn off my hips and be all arms like this. I'm letting my hips rotate on through there, and that's kind of pushing into that wall when that's happening. The final piece here, and if you're typically doing this drill and maybe you're coming down steeper, that club face starts to open up. We're going to talk about how to square the face just like we talk about in the move in the normal top speed golf system. But as I do this drill, I'm gonna let that slide down the wall again. And what I'm gonna do is my club comes off the wall, I'm gonna rotate my wrist down so that I square that face up. You can see that closing down. That early squaring in the face is gonna allow me to still come from the inside, have forward shaft lean, be in this great posture, and square up the club. If I don't have any of this squaring up of the face and I come down with the face open, my left wrist is cupped. What's gonna happen is as I rotate open, I'm gonna block it out to the right. My club face is pointing way over there. So when I have that from the inside, squatting, clearing the hips out, I really have to get this motion to square that face up and really compress it. And again, I'm gonna finish right here in that full follow through. So let's recap on this. I talked about a lot of different things. Let's hit the highlights. I'm gonna set up to the wall, normal posture, choke up on the club a couple inches. I'm gonna have my rear end against the wall. I'm gonna scoop my feet 2 inches away from the wall, or 2 inches farther this way. I'm gonna retake my normal posture, and now my rear end's off the wall. As I go to the top, my right hip goes back, and the club only does a 3/4 backswing, it's against the wall. As I squat down to square, my legs bend, and that club drags down the wall. As I come through, I'm gonna ram my left butt cheek into this wall here, and I'm gonna square up the face as I'm doing that. As I finish, my hips against the wall, feet fully rotated, hips fully rotated, and I'm only coming through to a little half follow through there. That's really gonna get me into a good position as I'm coming on through. You do a few of these every single day, you're gonna be able to keep your posture, you're gonna be able to have that nice flush contact, and you're gonna be really consistent. Now we're still missing a piece of this. In this video, we touched on shallowing out that club, coming from the inside, and then squaring that face up. Now, if you can master that, that's one of the biggest differentiating factors I see between great ball strikers, tour players, low single-digit handicap, scratch golfers, and golfers that struggle with their ball contact, their ball striking. That's what I call the move in our Top Speed Golf system, and I have one of the best videos from the move, a very special drill that shows you not only how to do this, but an easy trick to make that happen, a little subconscious trick that makes it so much simpler to do. I'm gonna play a preview of that video here in a second. If you want to see that full video, just click the card that pops up on your screen, the link down below in the description, you'll get instant access to it. I can't wait to teach you this move because it's really going to help you to pure the golf ball, hit it much more solid. Let's go ahead and get started. Good player problems. We're going to talk about shallowing that club shaft out as we're starting down, as we're doing this rotating of the face that we worked on in the last video. As we start this downswing, what you'll see with basically all of the top players is instead of coming kind of over the top and letting the hands come out away from their body, letting the club come out away from their body, again coming down steep into the ball and then having to open up, kind of fillet open the face and add loft to it. The flattening of the shaft should happen as soon as we start down. So as we start this downswing, what we want to have happening here, you can imagine that if I draw a line from the hosel of my club up through my right elbow, that's my swing plane line, my elbow plane. As I go to the top of the swing, I'm going to be slightly above that. And then as I start down, I want my hands to start to shallow out. I want the club to shallow out inside of this elbow plane. And at the same time, I'm going to be